should somebody design property on their own? I feel like I know these answers, so I love asking these questions.
Yeah. This is hard because we know the type of design that works really, really well for this. It's a very much commercialized type of a design. It is very, very bold color theory, things that don't fit into traditional design, right? And so designers are very monochromatic. Everything's going to be very congruent. It's going to look beautiful. Think of, all of your, big furniture brands or all of your major designers that you would see in furniture stores and things like model home type stuff, but just all your major big brand design that a lot of really good designers lean into. The type of design that we talk about and that we do and that we're investing in a design company right now, partnering on one. And it is going to be Vodyssey Design. It is not going to compete with anybody that is more traditional type of design. Now, when we talk to investors, and it's true, I don't want to say that there's not, typically there will be if I talk to 10 investors and there are 10 couples, 5 of them are going to say, my wife is an amazing designer.
Wow. And 50%.
And they're going to say, we don't need help with that because she does an amazing job with design. Her house looks beautiful. She's helped some of her friends and family design their houses, and or they could be designers. There's some designers that we work closely with, and it is so night and day different on what we do with design versus traditional designers. It's not that they're not good at design in their own right. It's not what we typically do. We're using these really bold, we use color to evoke emotion, and we use our design to evoke emotion. It's very much commercial type of design is the best way that I can describe it. What you're trying to do is take that target audience, take the experience of the property, take the experience of the area, and we're trying to create this immersive type of an experience where when they're there, they're basically, it's all part of the experience, right? It's not, the design is part of the experience, and it's not always attractive to somebody that is going to say, oh yeah, we're not putting our design in a restoration hardware magazine, right? And so do we use some of that furniture? Absolutely, we do, but we don't. It's not designed like you would see it in their magazines or their showrooms or stuff like that, which is going to be more where traditional designers are leaning into. And it's not that it's not beautiful. It is. It's not that we're not saying that. We're saying, how are we using this to create a reason to be different, to create a reason for the consumer to feel like it's unique to them, it's personalized to them, because we did select a target audience and we personalized this design. So, consumers pay for personalization more than anything. Then personalization is an element of being unique. That's why they pay for it, and different, right? And so those are the 3 things that consumers will pay you more for. And so if we know that, and we have this beautifully designed property that's on the beach, but it looks like traditional design, it's not unique, it's not personalized, and it's not different, because there's a million other properties on the same beach with the same proximity. Everybody talks about get the best proximity. True. Proximity matters in this game to whatever you're going at. But your neighbors all have the same proximity. And then if everybody has the same type of design, the consumer has no reason to differentiate. And when you don't give that consumer a reason, then there's no reason for them to pay you more. They're saying, okay, well, who can give me the best price, on this row of houses? And when it comes down to personalization, that's the number one thing we will pay more for as a consumer. And so if I select a target audience and they're interested in this specific thing, and I create this experience for them, and my design is part of that, when they look at it, it feels personalized, right? It feels, it checks the personalization box off in the consumer's mind. So we're different, we're unique, and now we're also personal, right? So, and that's why my example of the cabins earlier, it's, these are unique, they're different, but they're also very personalized to a specific audience, right? And they're like, of course, so so the more you can do that, the more you can command higher prices, because you're basically competing in a category of one. So think about that when you're designing these homes: is how can I create this immersive experience and make it unique, personalized, and different.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of elements of each other.
Well, I think 100%. I love that, and I think that another portion that we really got to hit on is, or this is not shade to those 50% that are saying like, oh no, they could definitely do it. My wife, no. There's no shade, but I think we love Tom at PBD. Was it words talk, numbers scream?
Words talk, numbers scream.
So
exactly.
This is an investment decision. This is to try and get your most amount of money. This is not a shade of saying, oh, we're a lot better and you don't know what you're doing. But no, this is just to help you try and get the most amount of return.
Right.
Now let's go into this. There's a lot of designers. We've got tons of people DMing us wanting to design for us. Everyone kind of has maybe a little bit different style or different way of looking at things. But I mean, have you noticed that some designers really lean into painting or murals or wallpaper more? Or, well, what kind of have you noticed some big differences in designers at all?
Yeah. For the most part, traditional designers all have very congruent elements in their design that kind of blend in. The problem is that's the biggest issue is they all kind of blend in.
Right.
Many are using wallpapers, mural type stuff, or the wallpaper murals, if you will, and being able to create like where they're making it these scenes, right? They're just setting, and they look great. There's nothing like you're saying. There's no shade being thrown here other than the fact of saying, if you are considering this, understand that your neighbor's doing the exact same thing. Right. And when your neighbor is designing the exact same way or elements of the same way, it doesn't stand out in the consumer's mind. And so you have this massive investment, and it's can be big, right? When you're picking beautiful properties and you're hiring professional designers and they're doing this, ultimately it looks great, but so does your neighbors. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to say is how can we be different and lean into something that a lot of people aren't leaning into and are not willing to lean into. You know how many designers we talk to about some of our Vodyssey design stuff, and they refuse to do it. They don't want to do it. They're like, hey, it's not me. It makes them cringe as a designer.
Right.
Like, I'm not a designer. I'm an investor. I'm just trying to get the best return on these investments.
Right.
Now, the interesting part, my wife is very much like a monochromatic design, very minimalist type design. Our houses look beautiful. People love them, but they wouldn't operate very well as a short-term rental. We would never design our short-term rentals like that. Now, the first time we did this was very resistant. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, do what you're going to do. That's your business, but I'm not really liking it, right? I don't really like the bold colors. I don't really like this, the contrast and all that stuff. Until she went and stayed in it. And she's like, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this in my house, but I like this. This is pretty fun. So now she loves it for what we use it for, right? For a short-term rental and for that experience. And so even somebody that is attracted to a different type of design can still wrap their head around it when they experience it.
Right. Well, yeah, we're playing to win here, man.
And the consumer is going to judge with their pocketbook, period. The consumers are, it's not, if it didn't work, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The consumer judges you by their pocketbook and their credit card and says, I'm willing to pay you this, or I'm not willing to.
Right.
I mean, markets are markets.
I love it. All right, let's go into this. This is now I'm going to kind of do like a weird snaky kind of question here. So be ready for this one.
Okay, let's go.
Someone's listening to this and they go, I really fall in line with Teresa, your wife, and I like the simple. And since I know that audience, I'm a part of that target audience, then I'm going to create a house like that. I'm going to create a very minimalistic, black and white house. Well, I mean, they're kind of they're following down that target audience. That's going to be their kind of thing they lean into. Is that still wise to do?
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Is go look in the market. Whatever market you're buying a property in, go look and see if you're finding properties like that in your market. Now, if you're not, maybe you can lean into it. 5, 6, 7 years ago, pre-COVID, we were putting out model homes and they were doing really well because everybody else had grandma's cabin that was furnished at a yard sale, right? And then model homes really stood out. They were different, right?
Right.
And so the bar continues to rise in almost all of these markets. So if you're in a major market, what you're going to find is that style that you're attracted to has probably been overdone in that market already. Now, maybe not. If you're in a market that is maybe a little bit smaller and nobody's really doing it, you could probably go that direction And it becomes, you're probably not going to have much of a personalized feel to your property, but you're going to have a very, maybe a unique or different feel. And those are still two of the three check boxes that the consumer is willing to pay more for. And so, but the issue is that's easier to copy. It's easier for people to do because there's, a bunch of designers that will do this at this stage, right? And that type of design. And so, can you get away with it? Go judge it based on looking at the market. Go look at the top properties in your market. See what you're competing against. Most of your major markets, they're going to be very professionally designed, beautiful homes.
Right.